Here are another statistics from the recent past, from the last 2 years. And it seems like that the FDA approved 129 NDAs under B2 and 131 NDAs under B1. So it kind of looks that it's very important, and FDA does approve half of these as B2. So there's a lot of B2 activity going on, and of course you all are interested in that. So obviously that's testament to that it is important, and it's been used for repurposing of some of the molecules. Now, this is just a snapshot of different routes of administration, and I think Aloka talked about intravenous, and she educated me on some of the IV 505(b)(2)s, which I was not totally aware of. But and then the oral and buccal, obviously, it's that's the bulk of the approvals and products. So it seems like there is a significant amount of activity which FDA does see. And actually, I also have some information across different divisions, the different therapeutic areas, where the B2s have been applied. Here is a very interesting case I wanted to just point out, and I don't know whether anybody from Horizon, or probably not, but this is an interesting product I thought I'll just discuss, and very smart strategy from a strategy point of view. So this is a diclofenac sodium topical solution, 2% weight by weight. So this NDA represents a new formulation of a topical diclofenac sodium solution and cross-references Pensaid, which is an approved topical solution of diclofenac sodium, 1.5%. So it's really a change in concentration. That's all. The original formulation is dosed as 40 drops applied to the knee 4 times daily. The new formulation is much more concentrated and is intended to be dosed twice daily via a metered dose pump. Therefore, originally this is submitted as an efficacy supplement. The application changed to a new NDA as the product is a new formulation. Now, the sponsor was advised initially by the FDA that you need to do a 12-week phase 3 study to support a finding of efficacy in addition to the relative BA study required for a B2 application. However, the only clinical efficacy study submitted in the NDA was a 4-week efficacy study, originally intended to be an exploratory study. So they did do a 4-week study, which was as an originally an exploratory study, I think. I think they kind of also knew that they probably have to do a clinical study because this is a topical administration. The applicant came back and presented an argument that the study was consistent with the study design described in the OGD draft guidance on topical diclofenac sodium. That is 1 PK/BE study and 1 clinical endpoint BE study in osteoarthritis patients for 4 weeks. So the exploratory study they actually ran was the clinical endpoint study, which was recommended in the OGD guidance. The rationale was that the new formulation has the same systemic exposure to Pensaid, and so this guidance should apply. While this argument was completely rejected initially by the FDA, the agency later decided to accept the argument and decided that the studies required under OGD guidance were sufficient to support the approval of this product. So it's a very interesting situation, and I thought I'll just put that as an example. I didn't work on this, but maybe but I exactly do not know what conversation happened, but I thought that was a very nice strategic move, and we do sometimes get requests like that can we, and some of these particularly with these topical products, which has some FDA is now coming up with a lot of guidances on these topicals, and oftentimes it needs a small abbreviated clinical endpoint BE study. Some of them are probably not that small. I mean, for example, Advair, you probably need to do a 1,000-patient study. But how to use sometimes the OGD guidance, because at the heart of all the guidances is essentially every FDA-approved product is safe and efficacious by definition. So whatever is needed to prove that, we can certainly borrow some part from the OGD, FDA's own guidances. But again, there are some tricks to that. So I thought I'll point that out here.